Hi, welcome to the first episode of the SuperClash PremiereCast. I'm your host, Trey, joined with my co-hosts, Connor and David. Say hello, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh, don't be weird. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the new Predator movie.
Yay.
That was something, guys.
It was an experience.
Yeah.
So far, it's off to a great start.
I don't know if I'd say it was a good experience. Like, okay.
Who wants to start this with their goods and their bads?
I'll start it. I'll do it.
Okay.
So I will say, like, some of the pros, it was rated R. So there was a lot of blood, a lot of gore,
So it didn't have to hold back.
a lot of action.
No boobies, though.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
Like, the CGI, I don't know how you guys felt about it. Like, that first scene, spoilers, by the way, obviously.
Yeah,
We're always gonna do
another spoiler
spoilers.
cast incoming, so.
Just every podcast that we do is going to be spoilers, guys. But, like, the, after he, like, skins the dude and he's, like, laying under him and, like, the blood's, like, dripping onto the Predator and then his, like, eyes open. Like, that was cheesy as fuck. And it looked like shit.
Yeah. Yeah, they looked a little goofy. Bright yellow eyes.
Bright yellow cat eyes underneath a raining body of blood, which, I mean, I had actually looked at a few impressions of this movie before we got into it, and a lot of comments said, overuse of really dumb amount of blood. I mean, really? But
it was kind of pulling from like a slasher vibe. You know, a lot of movies do that.
Well,
and Predators is exactly Care Bears, so.
This is another thing I'll say. Like, this movie had like an $88 million budget, which is fucking impressive for the fucking like steamy turd that it was, in my opinion. Like, my God.
Okay, what? Name some other things you didn't like about it.
Didn't like or did like?
Didn't. Let's go with dislikes and then likes.
Okay. The story felt fucking pieced together. Like, it wasn't cohesive whatsoever.
A little bit.
Which we'll get into that later. Like, there's a reason. I just like some of the character setup. I don't think it was a good script in general. Like, I think they were like, oh, let's make another Predator movie, and they're like, oh, but like, what do we do? And then I don't know. I did not like this movie. But the director, God, what's his name? Shane Black or something like that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he a little Easter egg. He played Hawkins in the original Predator movie.
Oh, interesting.
So that was fun. I didn't know about that till after I saw it for the first time. What are your thoughts, Connor?
Okay. So I kind of took a mental note of some things throughout the movie. First and foremost, I feel like there was a lot of intended humor in this film. Like there were a lot of jokes, but a lot of them just fell really flat.
So like, I went and saw this with my roommate Garrett, and at one point, I think it was only like 20 minutes into the movie, I looked at him and I was like, they're just trying way too hard to be funny.
Yeah, some of the jokes, I'd say less than 10% actually hit, and I was like, huh? Some of them were so bad that they were cringy, and then they made me laugh because of how cringy they were.
The one where he's in the like interrogation room hooked up to the polygraph, and the fucking interrogator starts off with like, you quoted like you like came out of your mother's vagina and like crawled towards your death or like some shit. And I was like, that's the dumbest fucking thing. And then the dude was like, oh, that's badass. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
I think at that point I actually told Connor, I was like, that has got to be the dumbest line I've ever heard in a movie.
Right. Speaking of which, fucking main character, like, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but like, discount fucking Brad Pitt. Yes or no?
He was pretty good in the Logan movie.
Was he?
Yeah.
I was about to say, has he been in anything before?
Yeah, he was a good villain in the Logan movie. But I think the issue is that like they were trying to be edgy with this movie, like, oh man, he served so many tours and blah blah. He gets so many confirmed kills, and it's like, oh god, edgelord, back up a little bit, come on. But some of the things I did like, just to kind of be fair to it, I think a lot of the action scenes were kind of cool. A lot of the fight scenes, the shootouts. There was a lot of shooting in this movie, back and forth. I thought one major flaw to this movie was that they just kind of rolled with everything throughout the movie. Like, they didn't take time establishing anything. They were just like, all right, we're here now. We're going to kill an alien. Okay, let's go do that. Nobody questions it. Like, his wife is told that there's an alien that's, like, trying to kill him. She's just like, okay, and just goes and picks up a gun. Like, okay, yeah, that's not...
Most wives or most movies, they would start freaking out or, you know, your PTSD is hitting really hard. No, she was legit. Okay, I'm going with you. I'm like, damn, it doesn't take much to convince you, does it?
I think... go ahead.
So, like, one of my concerns, that scene where they initially fight the predator outside the school, and then like the fucking main characters, like the kid, the dad, and then the like scientist lady, like run inside the school, and like there's shit going on, and then it like cuts back outside. And it looks like they've just had like some fucking fight or something. They're like picking themselves up off the ground, like they're going like, okay. And it's like they're like a whole scene was fucking cut there or something.
Well,
it just seemed weirdly like placed.
I think
together.
what happened there, I think there was a scene. I think the predator shot like this big missile thing and just kind of like blew up the front gate, and it knocked all them back.
And then what? Like, why wouldn't he just fucking kill him?
I think he just went in. I don't know.
Maybe I just missed that part, but.
Yeah. I think another thing that kind of was just kind of, I don't know, puzzling about the film was they didn't take any time really establishing the main characters at all, really. They were like, yeah, this guy has Tourette's. Okay. Yeah, this guy... They took a little bit of time with a guy who, like, attempted... suicide, but all the other ones were just basically throwaway characters that were one note, and then they were super ham-fisted with the little boy with Asperger's, like, you know, they say that's the next step in human evolution. I'm like, oh my god, just I could feel my eyes rolling into the back of my head.
Well, the thing with me on that though is the whole character development you were talking about. How much screen time do you give to 5 guys that are going to have 10, maybe 20% of screen time? How much time do you give introducing to all of them before it's either not enough or too much?
Well, like I did some research online into this movie, and
how dare you?
I forget the actor's name, but he was the admiral on Battlestar Galactica, the newer one. Adama.
I didn't watch that.
I guess he played like the. Oh, you guys haven't. Anyway, so he was supposed to be like a secondary like antagonist, I guess. But then Shane Black was like, "Oh, I've got too many like bad guys," and so they completely cut him out of the fucking movie. Which I think he might have been a better choice for the bad guy.
Also, speaking of the bad guys, I like how it took literally like no explanation, just seconds for them to be like, you know, when the Predator at the very end, the Predator announces that he's like, I'm going to give you a head start, and then I'm going to kill all of you. And there was a group of bad guys and a group of good guys. And immediately they're just like, yeah, so we're going to work together now. And, like, nobody says, like, there's no, like, peace treaty. They're just, like, immediately like, yep, all right, let's go. We're going to work together. And it's like, what? What?
And the thing that
you were just trying to kill each other 3 seconds ago.
The thing that lost me is the guy that's on the rock, like, overlooking everyone, not even ready to shoot, gets his arm fucking blown off out of nowhere. I'm like, where did that come from? And
he was talking, yeah, and they talked him up to be a character that would was into pyrotechnics and would blow things up, and he never did anything of the sort.
He shot a flare.
Oh yeah,
that's kind of a pyrotechnic.
Ooh, fire!
Yeah. I want to talk about my 2 big points here.
All right, you can go. I've said my piece.
Yeah.
Have you said your piece? Okay,
yeah.
Shut the hell up.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh,
so One of my biggest things, it doesn't matter if it's a superhero movie, it doesn't matter if it's a, Freddy vs. Jason kind of thing, or a Freddy movie, a Jason thing. Whenever there's guns involved, there's an hour and a half of shooting at something that won't die with bullets. By all means, keep shooting at it with bullets. It'll eventually go down. An hour and a half of shooting at the Predator, rounds bouncing off of him like he's made of something that's not of this earth.
Well, they said he developed like an exoskeleton or whatever.
So keep shooting at him with small arms, please.
I will say the scene where they all like band together to go find the boy, and they find him on like the football field.
Mm-hmm.
That scene is executed like so fucking cheesy. Like
It really is.
Like he fucking the dude who shot himself in the head. Like he like rolls in there with the police car, like bails out of that, and then like
the car just disappears.
Well, not only that, but then he like runs and jumps across the hood of the other car in front of the fucking line of fire of the scientist lady.
Right.
And it's like, okay, like that was a cool like stunt, but like what the fuck did that have to do with any fucking thing?
It was the action scene, man. You gotta get with the action scene.
But it just looked so staged and so fucking
Yeah. Like when I was watching that scene roll out, I'm like, okay, are you done? You had your moment.
Right.
And I would say one other thing, which like most of my points revolve around the school and the it wasn't even a school bus. It was the
like RV.
The RV scene. Yeah. Why, when the main predator is going to go after the humans anyway, I'm just gonna let the RV get away? Yeah, pursuing human subjects. Just standing there on the road watching them get away. I mean,
yeah,
you literally let them get away just so you could have an end to your movie when you could have literally wrecked most of them right then and there.
Well, okay, so I think we've torn into this movie enough.
We'll get to our good stuff here in a minute.
Okay,
but I want a reason behind that.
No. This is what I'm saying. So, this movie had quite a few rewrites. Like they had an original script, and some of the like ending stuff was really good, and I think that would have been better for the film. Like there was, I guess this whole plot of there was more than one like friendly predator, even though like the one in the movie wasn't that friendly. Anyway,
he still killed people.
But like I guess there's like a whole scene
Predators don't kill people. People kill people.
Where like they team up with the main characters, and they're like driving down the road in this like fucking tank and shit, like fucking shit up, and it makes it like a little snippet from that scene makes it into the trailer, which fucking blows my mind because like nothing to do with it whatsoever. And then there's this other God, the fucking ending of this movie is so stupid. Like,
can I get that in 42 long?
Oh my, cringe again. Stop it.
Like, I just felt like it was thrown on at the end for like there to be something there. And the fucking like Predator Killer, which is the dumbest fucking name that you could fucking make for a suit of armor. And then it's like fucking Iron Man Tony Starking onto this fucking dude's body.
Mm-hmm.
Just so goddamn.
Can either of you explain to me the motivations
Probably not.
of the main human antagonist in that movie? The guy who originally has the Predator in his lab, because to me, I'm very hazy on it, because it seemed to me at first, he was into collecting the Predator stuff to kind of study it, and then he wanted to get the artifact that the Predator was bringing because it had some kind of key to help out humanity. They're helping humanity because global warming is going to take us out within 2 generations. And as this is a side note, but as somebody who like believes that global warming is a thing that's occurring, 2 generations you think it's gonna wipe out humanity? That's a little quick. And he was like, oh, maybe even 1. And I'm like, no.
Let's also point out the fact that he brings up that whole conversation by talking about Hostess and fucking Twinkies.
Yeah,
and it's like, What?
But what is this guy's motivation? Because he's also down with killing innocent people too.
Honestly, from
Yeah, like he's clearly not out to like save humanity.
Then what's he doing?
He's
from
he's
what it
trying to
sounded
like
like-
clean up his tracks and like kill all these fucking people that know about the predator anyway.
But what's his purpose? What is
Right,
his
yeah,
end goal when he gets the ship? What's his purpose?
I mean, that is a good question, but I think literally every time something new is introduced to the scene, whether it be the artifact, or it be the guy's gauntlets, or his armor, or the ship, or the mothership, or whatever, every time he found out about something new, that was his goal. Like, he just wanted, the candy at the end of the road. And I think he's like the analogy of a dog chasing a car. A dog doesn't know what it's going to do with it once it catches the car. It's just going to chase after it. But what does it do afterwards? That's kind of, to me, that's kind of open-ended. But I mean, we don't have to worry about that anymore since he done muffed up.
Yeah, he kills himself in the middle of like a scene, and it's just kind of offhanded, like he just kills himself, and it's like, huh, okay, well, that kind of cleared up that little. It was like, it seemed like an offhanded way to just delete that storyline at the end. You're like, we don't really have a clean way of wrapping this up. The bad guy kills himself by accident. Okay, let's keep moving on here. Like, the whole movie was just like, let's keep moving on. Let's just progress the plot without really earning anything. Let's just keep going. All right, let's just go through the paces.
Hey, as long as you got the main three alive at the end, that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
You just need the main three alive.
Another thing I'd like to bring up is the fact that a lot of the shootout scenes and the action scenes were originally shot in the daylight. They went back and reshot all of them at night because they said that the CG looked too poor during the day.
Well,
and it's like yeah, no shit. Like,
wonder what company they're using that the CG looks poor.
But not only that, but like when you switch to shooting in the dark, it becomes harder to see what the fuck is happening with all the camera switches and like the action going on around and like the muzzle flashes. Like there were times when I was like, what's going on right now?
But when it comes to a time in a movie or we're in a movie's production where it's reshoot, you're literally
right. Like this movie,
you're literally
was
Elmer's gluing an eggshell back together and then publishing it and hoping that it doesn't fall apart.
Right. Which like that's what sucks. Like I feel like they could have done a lot better with the resources that they had, but when they decide to rewrite the script and start doing reshoots, it automatically just falls apart.
Yeah, I think, okay, here I'm going to give it a rating, and I'm going to give it a quick explanation for the rating. I'd go ahead and I'd give it about a 3 out of 10. And the reason...
Oh, we're doing out of fucking 10?
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's do it out of 10. I'll give it a 3 out of 10, and the reason behind that is because I thought some of the action scenes were fun, and kind of energetic. The gore was, in some instances, kind of cool. I think some of the weapons that the Predator had were kind of fun, and some of the actors did a pretty decent job doing their roles, even though they were given kind of shitty lines to work with. The only reason I would maybe recommend seeing it, and I would not recommend going to the theater to watch this. I'd say if you got $1 rental at Redbox, or if it's on TV, maybe give it a watch. Some dumb sci-fi action flick that maybe this will play out to see, but it might progress the Predator storyline. Yeah, that's what I give it. 3 out of 10. What do you think?
I would probably say 3 to 3.5, mainly because it's a Predator movie. You expect to see a lot of predators. You expect to see a lot of death. It delivered. All the confusion about, there's a predator. Oh, there's one that's 11 feet tall that's pissed at all the little ones. Okay, sure. But I'll say, yeah, all the gadgets they were using were pretty cool. I've always loved the camouflage part of their lineage. Always thought that was really cool. The kid I really enjoyed. I thought he did a pretty decent job at the acting, even though the adults have been in it longer, yet weren't as great at it. I'm always a fan of seeing Olivia Munn on screen. That was her name, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm always a fan of seeing her on screen. But the thing that really just bugs me with movies and kids is don't make the fucking kid drop F-bombs 20 times in a movie. Come on.
I will say that in that one scene, where he's like, "Oh, reverse psychology, I can do that too," and he's like, "Don't go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
I was like, "Lol."
It felt weird coming from a little kid, though. It really
But
did.
still,
I mean, I can understand a little.
It was a nice little like quib there.
Yeah, I can understand a little real quick quip that goes on, but when the kid's like script has like 5 or 10 fucks in it, and he can't be older than 10 or
I
12.
think they said he was like 6, didn't they? Like when you're looking at this piece of paper, was it 6?
Like how much of a concerned parent are you when you're on set with these guys and there's F-bombs every couple seconds? I don't mind the F-bombs. I don't mind the rated R. Just, I mean, I may be a whole, worried about the kid's future and all that kind of stuff, but that, to me, that says, hey, you're going to throw a kid in these kind of movies, then that makes it okay for a kid to watch, and this is not a kid's movie, so.
I mean, it's rated R.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's a kid in it, so, I mean,
I don't know.
people are going to use that argument, but, yeah, I'd say about a 3 out of 10. Some of the acting was bad. A lot of the action I thought was pretty good, although it seemed like it was literally just, shining a light on a bunch of cockroaches and watching them scatter and just see what happens. And like Connor said, I would not spend the money to go to the theater to see it. I would spend a few bucks if you want to, wait till it's on TV, whatever, give it a watch. If you're a fan of the Predator series, you will probably enjoy parts of it, but my overall opinion is pass.
So, I'm gonna give this movie a 1 out of fucking 10.
Oh, wow.
Mainly because, like, having done the research into it and, like, seeing what this movie could have been, really just fucking frustrates me that it turned out the way that it did.
You kind of cheat sheeted it before you went and saw it.
No, like, I saw it first, went and researched it, and then we went and saw it again just now. But I will say, like, there was a point where Arnold Schwarzenegger was gonna come back in, like, with his original character Dutch from the first Predator, but he turned that role down because it was like a limited speaking role, and he wanted to be available for the new Terminator movie that's coming out. Which
I love the get to the choppers line.
Right.
I love that.
That was in there for the fans.
Yeah.
That's out there for all. That's out there for all you fans.
I would say, don't watch this movie. Like if it's on TV, if it's $1 at fucking Redbox, it's not worth it. It doesn't add anything to the Predator series
that we know of. I mean, we're gonna say it probably doesn't.
I mean, there are some cool Easter eggs. Like
there'll be 1,000 conspiracy theories about what's going on.
The cool thing is like like Gary Busey was in it was either like Predator or Predator 2, I don't remember, as like a scientist, and then like his son is playing the son of that dude in this movie.
Gotcha.
Which I think was kind of an interesting like throw in.
Little nod.
But it's like little things that you're kind of like, oh, like that's a nice nod to this, but like overall it just doesn't add anything to the franchise. Like, just like AVP didn't add anything to the fucking franchise. Like, the first one was good. Requiem was trash.
AVP was from an era when we were doing, like, Freddy versus Jason and stuff like that. So,
yeah. And
those aren't canon, I don't think.
Well, funny you say that, because when they first get to the stargazing or whatever, like, laboratory.
Yeah, Stargazer.
Yeah, and like they're showing off like all the artifacts from the Predators. The fucking spear that the main chick used in AVP, that was made out of like the alien tail or whatever. Like that's there. Like I don't know if you guys caught that.
No,
I don't know what that
spear
was
the
from.
The spear and then the smaller knife underneath.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
But yeah, that was. I think the smaller knife was from Predator 2.
Okay.
So like they had some stuff in there.
They had some throwbacks in there.
Which I don't know if you could technically say that adds or like confirms it as canon, but I don't know. I think it does.
It could just be an Easter egg nod.
Right.
Yeah. I would love if they had a cool way to intertwine the Alien and the Predator storylines, but I don't know how they would do it based off how those timelines for those movies go. Like, it felt weird if you actually watched all the Alien and all the Predator movies, it felt weird watching AVP because you're like, wait, these happen like hundreds of years apart. The two movie franchises do.
Right. Well, it's supposed to be like every 100 years they fucking visit, and like do like that sacrifice with the aliens or whatever they're supposed to do. But
yeah,
I don't know. That doesn't really make sense then, because if you think about like the first movie and the second movie,
None of it makes sense.
like it just doesn't tie in.
they're trying really hard.
There are too many plot holes in the Predator universe. I don't think there's ever gonna be like a cohesive story or timeline.
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, so yeah, that was our thoughts on the new Predator movie. Super disappointed. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm pretty much. I mean, I don't even have too much more to say on it other than pretty much.
Yeah.
it was one of those things where it was a dumb boom boom shoot 'em up explosion movie, and I'll take it at what it was. I guess I don't know. That's the best way I can feel about this movie. Is I'll just whatever.
Remember, kids, small arms won't kill a predator unless you're right in its fucking face with his mouth open.
Yeah. Also, what was with the fucking like lobotomized dog fucking scene?
They like shot him in his head, and then he became like a puppy dog.
So
Yeah, there were. Hold on, we didn't establish. There's predator dogs in this movie.
Yeah. There's like this weird tie-in with dogs in this movie in general.
Yeah. Okay. What happened with the actual dog, like the real dog? Like he's playing with it on the field, and they get into the RV, and the dog comes running at him, and he looks at the dog. The camera pans to the dog, pans away, and I thought they're like, oh, they're gonna let the dog in the RV with them, and they just close the RV door and they go,
And you never fucking hear about it
and the
again.
predator's just left standing there. Where'd the fucking dog go that was running that way?
A lot of mistakes, I guess you'd call it, or the director's like, you know what, we're tired, everybody go home, and that's a wrap. And then they're like, you know, we don't want to fucking reshoot this, so let's just move on. And then
they shot it like 3 times, I think, or something.
you just take the best. You just take the best one of 3 shitty ones. Like, hey, who wants to move on to the next one? The entire crew just raises their hand.
Yo, you want to film The Predator 2?
I mean, like, I will. Okay, let's go through the movies in the franchise.
Oh god.
And which ones do you like? Which ones do you not like?
I feel like I'm going to be very controversial in this.
I don't even remember half of them, honestly, so I can't answer this question. It's been too long since I even saw AVP, so.
Connor, what are your thoughts?
Okay, the first movie was a fun, like, manhunt action movie where they're just kind of they're trying to kill this thing, and then it kind of turns the tables on them pretty quick, and they're just trying to survive and try to make it through. And for when the movie was made, it was a very unique concept, like the whole, you know, heat vision, and you got to camouflage yourself with mud to survive, and like that there's only one predator. It had kind of a similar feel to like the first Alien film, where there's just one alien and it's hunting, and you're just trying to survive. You know, you don't really stand a chance really against it, and that's kind of how it felt, except less of a horror movie, more of an action movie with Predator.
Right.
Second one I don't really remember at all. I remember it being like a weird, like, urban setting with.
I just remember Danny Glover.
Yeah.
Really, and that's about it. There were some like cops and some like Colombian like drug dealers, and there were like some Jamaicans in there somewhere. I don't really know.
And here's where I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I'm sure this is going to be very divisive. I actually enjoyed Predators.
Yeah, with Adrian Brody?
Yes.
I fucking...
The whole premise of that movie was the Predators kind of went to Earth and collected, like, some of the like, people who have killed the most people. And that could be, like, serial killers. That could be military people. You know, it was all over the place. And they've just put these people on an island together and kind of hunted them and then let them kill each other.
It wasn't only humans. It was like creatures from every planet around. Like they
Yeah.
took the best like hunters of those planets, put them on this game reserve, and then hunted them.
Yeah. And I thought that took some interesting turns. Like there was a serial killer who like
Fucking
who's a doctor.
Eric from that 70s show.
Yeah, Eric Foreman. Yeah. I thought that had some interesting concepts in it. I thought it was just dumb fun. Like I don't think I'd pick apart like the intricacies of that movie, but man, it was a lot of dumb fun, I thought. But and then the new one, I don't know. I'm sure within a few years, maybe even a year, I'll have forgotten most of anything that happened in this movie.
Right. I will say, like, as far as the Alien versus Predator movies, I think the first one was good. Like, it was nice to see them kind of combine the two and go like a little bit more into like the lore of the Wayland Yutani like corporation and all that. Like that was kind of interesting. So I think that's a good standout title in the series, along with Predators and of course the original Predator, which is just a classic.
Yeah.
But I think everything in between just kind of gets forgotten. Like people are like, oh yeah, I've seen that movie, but they can't really like, I don't know, like bring it up. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like they can't like bring up specific details. At least I know I can't.
Oh, I don't remember anything from Alien
yeah.
versus Predator, except for the alien dog. So honestly, I think the Alien versus Predator movies were like a weird spin-off of the time. And I said this before, but I think they're just... We had those like really bad guy versus other bad guy movies for a little while there, and I think that was just one of them.
Yeah.
And they just tried to kind of hodgepodge them together.
Pretty much. Is there anything else? Any other final thoughts, guys?
I'm tired. That's a
Same.
final thought.
I think we picked that apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
You picked that apart
kind of
more
stuck
than
a fork in that motherfucker.
you guys picked that apart more than a kid pick apart his dinner. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that was the first episode of the PremiereCast, guys. This podcast series is gonna be about like new movies that come out. Obviously, like the newer horror movies are gonna be saved for SpookyCast.
it's scarier.
Yeah. Until next time, guys.
See you later.
Adios.